Hello, my name is Marcus and welcome to Tabletop Reviews, where today I'm having a look at Death Valley, a small little pocket game, as they are called, by Kevin Ellingberg, and also by that company that does all the pocket games. It's a teeny tiny game with only 18 cards. That's what defines a pocket game. And I do have a 6-card expansion, so it's 24 cards I have. But let's head to the table, see how it's set up and played. Right, Death Valley, and this is a strictly 2-player game, so I suppose that's what I set it up for. Setup is actually quite easy, so you grab all the cards in here. I have the expansion, so I believe I have 24 cards, but the normal card game is 18. I'll grab them, shuffle them. Pile, and the face-up card. You're ready to go. Yeah. That's the only bit of setup. I don't think I've played any game with easier setup than that. And you sort of have room for both players down here. So yeah, the player turn consists basically of 2 phases. The action phase and the checking if you busted phase. So, action phase, you can choose one of 2 actions. You can put a card in your journey, which is a row you're going to have in front of you. It can either be the face-up card or drawing from the top of the pile. First round you can only do that, of course. You just place out a card. And then you can, in the second round, you have a little bit more fun, because you can choose to either continue a card, or you can put the card into your journey, which is a row below the current card. So if you've put it in your journey, no, not in your journey, in your scrapbook. If you put it in your scrapbook, the card is safe. It's not going to be removed if you bust. You bust if you have 3 of the same symbol, 3 cards with the same symbol in the top left. Then you bust. This means that 1 card will be put into a discard pile, and the remaining cards in your journey, all of them, also the ones that didn't match the symbol, will be shuffled back into the deck. But of course, any card in your scrapbook is safe, but the symbols do count. So if you have 2 water in your journey and 1 in your scrapbook, you have 3 water, you bust. And that's basically it. You continue on, so there's only 1 card left in the pile and face up, which is called the desert. And then you count off points. The first bit is you count all stars in your journey. Stars in your scrapbook doesn't count, only in your journey. And then you look at any abilities any card might have to see if it has a scoring ability, and then you apply that scoring ability. Of course, throughout the game, if there's any abilities that activates during a certain point, you activate those abilities. It could vary greatly, but that's the game. It's very simple, and yeah. Let's just head right back up and talk about my final thoughts. And there we are. I think the shortest overview ever, and let's make this the shortest review ever I have ever done. So gameplay is obviously very simple. I think it can be defined by the fact that you have the choice of this one, or you can try your luck to get something better. I love games that does that, that have the thing where you have a choice, but you can also test your luck, see if you can do it. I think that's a really great mechanic to have those things combined in a game. And otherwise, I think there are 2 very good mechanics in this one. The one is the 2 rows. I like the fact that you have the journey through, and then you have your scrapbook. Very thematic, I think. And then you have the busting. I like the busting aspect. It adds something to the game. It's interesting. And of course, get you closer to the end, you still remove a card. But maybe it prolongs the game a little bit. So quite interesting with the busting and the 2 rows mechanic. Of course, the fact that only 1 row scores you points on the stars, but the other one doesn't. It's interesting, very interesting. The components. It's 1 component. It's cards. And as I always say with the card game, if that's your only opponent, it needs to be really great cards. And I think this is really great quality cards. And of course you have the artwork, which I think is very, very relaxing, and maybe not so thematic when you're talking about this is Death Valley, it's a challenge to go through. Ooh, very relaxing, reminds me sort of a parks kind of artwork. Very nice artwork. The theme As I say, there's a few things that are quite thematic to what the game is all about, what they do in the game. But really, it's when you're playing and stuff. Besides the fact that it's a journey and you a scrapbook, you're taking pictures, whatever. There's really not a lot of theme within it when you're playing it. There's a few things, but it's not really there, is it? It's there, but not really. And of course, does it lie to you? This one says it's 1 to 2 players. I've not played it 1 player. I don't really play 1 player. That's not me. But it's definitely a 2-player game. I couldn't imagine this game working with any more 2 players. Even if you had more cards, I could not imagine this working with more than 2 players. Even if like it was a 30 card deck, it just feels like a 2-player game. So no, it doesn't lie to me. The final score I'm gonna give it is a 7 out of 10. Wow, that's a high for such a. But just I judge every game individually. I don't look at this one and see how does it compare to freaking Wingspan. That's not what I do. Look at every card game individually. Does this game do what it sets out to do? And I think it does. It's a simple 2-player game that brings you through Death Valley. Some fun facts in the cards, really nice artwork. I think it's really good, and I'm gonna give it a 7 out of 10. It's a high score. There's a few things, as I say, it's not very thematic, which I always love to have thematic. And just, I think there's a lot of games I would rather play than this. I'd say I judge them individually, but I also judge on the fact would I play them overall on the game. And I think there's quite a few I'll play over this one. Just, yeah. You can't really make it super interesting. It's very simple, it's very fun, it's delightful. Bring it out. 7 out of 10. And am I keeping it? On this one, the answer is unclear, but even if it was a 3 out of 10, I might as well. It's so tiny. Like, it fits in everywhere on my shelves. So obviously, I'm just gonna keep it. I might as well. It doesn't change it. Well, that's another review. I hope this one was a very short one. My name is Marcus, and I hope to see you in the next one.